name is Troy White. I'm a portfolio manager and financial planner with the firm Hoodoo Financial. And today I want to talk about the new economy, and often referred to as a gig economy, the shared economy. A lot of different euphemisms, but I just want to talk about some of the changes and the impact that it's going to have on you, and why we need to. I have a lot of notes here, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to cover them all in the short amount of time that I'm gonna record this video. So I'm gonna do my best. Hopefully I don't talk too fast. All right, I call it the new gig economy, and what are the effects? First of all, here's some things about it. Basically, the gig economy is an explanation of the way that we do odd jobs. Basically, you do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit here, and it might have been temp assignments, or you hustling up the money. But basically, this is to try to combine enough to live on. And because there's in my notes, and I'm gonna scratch these off as I go. There's 43% of workers in the U.S. who have more than one source of income. 43%, and that amount is bound to rise. And we're gonna talk about some of the reasons why. But some of the effects of this new gig economy, it's also referred to as the fourth industrial revolution, because there are some positives, and but the negatives only occur to those who sit back and let things happen to them. But if you understand and you face the reality of what's here, what's coming, then you can capitalize off of it for the good for you and your family. So one of the things is instability. This gig economy has created instability, or we could say the instability has created the gig economy. And what that is unstable work. And unstable work for the people, for the workers, it has a detrimental impact on the economy, because it prevents economic activity because of the uncertainty. The uncertainty is what prevents you from spending more and buying more gifts and buying a new stove or a new refrigerator or a new TV or something. The more you put that off, that's the less activity in an economy. Understand that an economy is a circular flow. It requires inputs, outputs, and users and suppliers. Suppliers and consumers. That's the circle. So you are both a consumer and a producer. By you go out and you produce for a job, and they pay you, and with that payment you go and consume. You consume products and services, and you work to create income. And so if the income is unstable, then your consumption is uncertain. It is slower, and the slower that your consumption occurs, the less economic activity is generated, which means the less jobs that's going to be available. With less jobs available, less salaries to spend and consume. So that's the cycle. So instability creates an unstable economic circumstance, because people are hesitant to insert their dollars into the economy. Some of the things that are creating this gig economy is automation, and some of the things that are going to push you into the gig economy. Right now, you are sitting at a stable job, and you're happy, and you're going along your daily life, feeling some sense of security. But understand that your employer has no loyalty to you. That's a days gone past. There is no loyalty. There only exists is the bottom line. So accept that and move on. So, but the automation is coming. It's you already know and you already see the automation at your current job. That automation is replacing human input because the computer can do it, the robot can do it, the technology can do the thing that 2 or 3 employees could do. So naturally, the employer is going to select the automation because that's going to reduce their cost. Reducing their cost means that they can either make more profits or reduce the cost to the consumer of the item or the service that they're providing. And then by doing that, they will sell more. So it's going to take less to produce more if they use this automation versus paying you more to produce less than their competitor can do and will do. So that puts them at a competitive disadvantage. And as employers, as employees, you'll feel that sense of some hostility, and you feel that the employer is being unfair. But they are competing against other employers who are competing for the dollar of the consumer. And part of that competition is to make it less expensive. So if their widget is less than the widget that's being produced at your job, then their widget is going to sell more to those consumers. In fact, you will go and buy the competitor's product competing with the job you work at. And people who work at auto plants right now, they'll go buy a car that's not even the car that they are producing. Partially because it's cheaper. If you work at a Mercedes plant, you can't afford a Mercedes. You got to go buy a Toyota. So, that's all mixed into every product out there. So, but understand that automation, and like I mentioned, auto plants, just the automation has replaced thousands of workers in that field alone. So automation is replacing the employee, and the automation of the economy is on the rise. And I went to a symposium at Salesforce, and they have there was something they were really harping on the fact that in 18 months from today, the level of automation is going to increase dramatically, and you're going to see even more people being replaced at their job by the automation. And it's not in one area, it's in every area. Because remember, technology can operate across industries. So understand, automation is coming. You need to identify where you fit in and how you can react to the automation. And understand, is it about to replace you? And I'll just mention another key word is the blockchain. The blockchain allows for automation in several fields, and that goes deep. But the blockchain is here, and the blockchain is coming, and it's recreating the economy. All right, so this gig economy exists now, but then you're gonna hear some things, and you're gonna see some things. I'm gonna point them out to you. You're gonna hear Donald Trump saying this all the time. This is the best economy ever. The unemployment is as low as it's ever been, right? But yet you see more homeless than you've ever seen in this country, ever in your entire life. There has never been this level of homelessness in every city, everywhere. Well, how could that be if unemployment is so low? Because, see, it's about how unemployment is calculated, for one, and those people who are homeless are not even counted as people in search of a job. So it's not as if they're counting bodies and saying, okay, all the bodies in America have a job, and so then the percentage that don't, it's an easy calculation. No, that's not how it goes. So those people are not counted anymore. So they lost their job, and their situation went so bad that now they don't even have a home. They're homeless, trying to struggle to get by. They're not even getting by no more, right? They're trying their best to survive now, but they're not even counted as unemployed. But what's happening is people have more than one job. So the amount of jobs didn't decrease, but the amount of potential employees for those jobs did decrease. And the people who were left have more than one job. So the numbers are misleading, and because numbers look like that unemployment is to this low level. But what it really is underemployment has went up, and those jobs are filled by those people who are underemployed. Underemployed means your job is not paying you enough, so you got to get another job. So just for hypothetical numbers, if there were 1 million jobs and 1.5 million people, well, they swapped. So the 0.5 million are homeless, and they're not even counted no more. But the 1 million are now doing all the jobs plus more. So it's like, hey, unemployment is down. Everybody's working. The economy is great because and the economy is being judged by what the stock market is doing, and that's not the only indicator of economic vitality. It's not and if you went by the GDP numbers, you'll see that it's not astronomically higher than any time. But that's the whole economics argument that we ain't gonna go into. I don't want to talk about that. But underemployment is the current problem, not unemployment. But unemployment is a problem too, because all the people homeless, but they're not even counted no more in terms of people who are looking for jobs, because they're looking for food. They're not looking for a job right now. And because also a job's not gonna harm, they don't have a place to live, they don't have a phone for you to call them, they don't have a place to wash their clothes, to keep their clothes. Everything they got is on their back. So unemployment has been reduced while multiple jobs have become the norm. Unemployment is down because multiple jobs is the norm instead of the exception to the rule. So that's skewing the numbers and misleading us to feel, or misleading some people to think that, oh, the economy is doing wonderful. But, right outside this office building are homeless people, walking around. And then if I go 3 blocks this way, 3 blocks that way, about 3 or 4 blocks that way, and and blocks that way, all directions. It's people in tents. In fact, I got some tents that I plan to go to donate, and I want to find some people that's just sleeping in the park with no tent. I'm gonna go give them those tents, and I've been saying I'm gonna do it, but I haven't done it yet. I got some tents to give away. Because so many places. Actually, that's my delay. It's like, who should I bless with these tents? Because it's the people everywhere. I'm trying to pick, like, well, where should I go? It's just really, I could just go anywhere, just leave them, because somebody need them. It's not just somebody, all kinds of people. It's homeless encampments around here in Oakland, California, in San Francisco, in the entire Bay Area, and in the city that you at right now. So what does this mean? This gig economy. So if you're doing these gigs are part-time here, part-time there. The income is not adequate. So that also means the benefits are not adequate. So people no longer have 401ks that they're participating in, because the jobs are, like I said, they underemployed. The jobs are such that what they're doing is reducing the number of hours that they give employees, so that they don't qualify as people that need to get the benefits. And they'll hire more employees and give them less hours so that they'll, instead of having fewer employees and give them more hours, because that means you're going to have to give them benefits. So they're trying their best to reduce their expenses by reducing what they give to the employees. So the result is they're not investing in their 401k. What's that mean? That means it's bad now, but it's guaranteed to be worse later. So if you're not investing in a retirement program of some sort, it's bad now, but it's going to be worse, because when you get older, then you can't supplement your income with your labor, because you're not physically able to do it anymore, and you become less employable as you get older. That's just how they try to put you out the pasture. So understand that in the gig economy, you no longer have benefits, specifically retirement and healthcare. So we might be able to replace the healthcare with public services somewhere, but not the 401k. And the less that you're putting in some of these, the less you put in, as because you got less salary on these gigs. So if you're not paying into Social Security, that means that Social Security is not even going to be there for you, or it's going to be so minuscule that, hey, that might be enough for a ham sandwich, a couple times a month. But beyond that, you're going to you're going to need my tent. That's what it's going to be. So no longer have benefits, specifically a retirement account. So you got to take care of this yourself. You got to think about all of these things that you no longer going to have. And sometimes we'll get lulled to sleep because you got a gig here and a gig there and a gig there. And I know people personally who are piecing together a salary, and that salary is more than they ever had. But because I should say that income is more than they've ever had, because they're doing 3 jobs. They're always busy, always working and things, but they still have the same spending habits that don't involve saving and investing. And they also don't involve a retirement account. So these are issues that's coming that we need to be thinking about, because also those who do got a 401k, that's not a retirement account no more. We're using those 401ks as an unemployment account, because as soon as you leave that job, you got to pay rent. You're not getting no big package. Your 401k is now your unemployment account. You know it and I know it. So soon as you lose your job, you're nervous, you're scared, like, oh man, what am I gonna do? And so you have to fall back on that 401k, even as you try your best to get the job fast as possible. There's that gap in between this job and the next job. And how do you pay? How do you pay to live at that time? Your 401k. So understand that in advance. So because the solution there is that we need to be investing into an emergency fund. And in addition to other things, we need to be investing for. But when you are in the gig economy, that's what's happening. Those who still have a 401k, when you lose that job, when that company go out of business, or when the layoffs occur, or when they find if we need to reduce costs, let's pick on somebody till they quit, or we need to reduce costs, let's pick on them, and then until they flash and act a fool, then we can officially fire them. So, this is what's happening. And then your 401k, your retirement account, becomes your unemployment account. And then again, that's putting you into the hole, because your older self is going to wish you didn't do that. But hey, what can you do? You have to live, right? Because there was no financial planning involved. There was no investment knowledge, and there was a financial illiteracy. So there was no emergency fund, rainy day fund, no short-term investments, no medium-term investments, no long-term investments, no retirement account. All of these things are what would have got you over the hump, that would help you survive the hard times. So that create those scenarios I just highlighted have created what you have heard of called a retirement crisis. Americans don't have retirement accounts. They just don't. It's not a white black thing. You might be looking at a different race and thinking, oh, they got it. They doing great. It's not. It doesn't go by race. It's people of all race on the good and on the bad. And so, but there is a retirement crisis, and you need to identify: are you part of that crisis or not? And you need to take actions to ensure that you're not on the wrong side of this retirement crisis. And the crisis gets worse with time, not better. So unless you are saving and investing, it's going to get worse for you over time. All right. So you need to find some methods that will help secure your economic future. So these are just some of the things that you can do, and to put yourself in a better situation in this gig economy. And first off, find a method. Use your salary, your income to purchase assets. Use your salary, your income to purchase assets, whether you're receiving a salary, you're part of the gig economy, whatever it is. You need to use the income you make, wherever you're making it, and save 10% minimum. Pay yourself first with 10% and invest in income producing and appreciable assets. What does that mean? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, and businesses. You need to have an entrepreneurial endeavor as well, but you must pay yourself first, 10% of whatever you're making, and invest it in some assets. Those assets need to be assets that can and will appreciate in value over time, so that when you reach that age of retirement, that those investments that pay yourself first, those investments that you made is what's going to sustain you when you're at that age where you can't work no more at retirement. And and hopefully you engage in a financial planning. You will plan your finances such that you are investing in income producing property. So what I'm saying in a nutshell, you better start investing in real estate so that you can receive income. You can receive rents. You will have something that increases in value that you can cash out over time. I mean, at the retirement, basically. And I don't just mean real estate, because most people are like, oh, I invest in this, not that. It's not a this or that. It's a this and that. It's a this so that you could do that. And when you do that, that's going to kick off money. So what am I talking about? I'm saying you need to invest in assets that appreciate, like stocks and ETFs and mutual funds, so that you can invest. You will have the money to invest in real estate, which is income producing. And with that, so what you gonna do when it produces some income? That's money, right? So you need to take that income and invest it in assets that will appreciate. And then when you get some more, when the assets appreciate, then you need to use some of that appreciation and invest in assets that will produce income. And then with that income, you need to invest in assets that will appreciate. As those assets appreciate, you need to use some of that appreciation to invest in assets that produce income. And then you do the same thing over and over, all day, every day, all night. That's what I'm saying. All right. Also, you need to do this with a regular, repeatable process. You don't need to try to figure out a new thing every time, but you need a thing to do, right? So, find the one that works best for you, your life, your lifestyle, your family, the amount of money that you're working with. Those are all factors that are going to dictate what you can and cannot do in terms of investing. So The point is, you need to find a method that you sticking to. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Like I just said, assets and income. Use that income to buy assets so that you could buy more income. Use that income to buy more assets so that you could buy more income, over and over and over. Now, there are ways to do both. There's types of assets and ways to get those assets. And there's types of income producing assets and there's ways to get those. So get with a financial planner, get with your research, look it up on YouTube or contact me. That's one way. Also, you need a plan to succeed. He who fails to plan plans to fail. You can't achieve none of these things. You won't dig out of no hole if you don't have a plan. You must plan for success. There ain't no other way. Even when you're doing good without a plan, but you don't know how to go. Your plan didn't include the speed bump. Your plan didn't include the roadblock. Your plan didn't include the detour. Your plan didn't include the recession. Your plan didn't include the loss of that income. So when we can just keep going down the list of bad shit that can happen to you. And you have to have a plan for those things, for bad things to occur. You need to plan for stuff to go wrong as much as you planning for things to go right. Because bad things occur. Detours happen. You can't plan for everything, so you need to have a plan for everything. You say, T-Roy, it don't even make sense. Yeah, dude. You just don't know it yet. You can't plan for everything, so you need to plan for everything. That's really straight up. And how you do that, first off, is financial literacy. You need to become financially literate. Part of that is listening to me right now. You are becoming financially literate right now. You are getting financial literacy right now, and you need more of it. You need to understand all aspects of it all. And so that's going to help you devise your strategy. If you're going to wing it and go do it alone, then soak up all of these videos that I have and that others have. Take some online courses that I have and that others have. I'll put a link into my courses on this video. But there's a multitude of resources for you to become financially literate, but obviously you need someone who can has that cultural competency that can speak to you, And just a little bit about our firm. It was created to help those who are underserved by the financial services industry. And so we have methods and accounts with the ability for people who only have $25 a month to invest. But our financial planning services are available to people with $100,000 in investable assets. That means you got to bring $100,000 to the table. You say, wow, that's a lot. No, it's not. Because most firms who do what we do for you require you to have $500,000 before you can even start. But we have different level of technology than they do, and they're not interested in having the level of technology that we have because they don't care about those small accounts. It takes too many small accounts to make any money. So this is me saving the world, providing you this, but I still need to survive myself. So, I have to cap a limit in terms of the full service that we provide in terms of financial planning. But also we have investment programs. You just buy and pay us to do the investment program, which comes with financial literacy, investment accounts, personalized, customized investment portfolios for you, and financial planning services. We're going to dive into your finances and figure out a way that you can achieve your goals, get your financial house in order, and the whole gamut, everything that a full service brokerage firm can do for you if you had $500,000 minimums. Some firms is $1 million or more is the minimum. And so anyway, financial literacy was where I was harping on that. So the gig economy has no benefits, so you have to provide yourself with those benefits. And that's what I'm talking about. So we can help you with these 401ks. If you need a 401k, you need an IRA, you need a self-directed IRA, you need any retirement account, any short-term, medium-term, long-term investment account, we got it for you. And we're not requiring no minimum investment amount. Do as much as you can. And we're going to encourage you to do a little bit more than that. So because the gig economy has no benefits, and the only benefit you're getting is green dollars that they're paying you. So that'll get you, you'll be working to live, not investing to live. So and so you work to live and live to work. That's all you'll be doing for the rest of your life. And that's not what I want from any of my clients or people who are listening to me to gain any financial literacy at all. I'm encouraging you to live a better life than that. And the way you live a better life than that is educate yourself about financial literacy and start doing something. It's not good enough to just know it. You got to do it. That's what's up. So, and investment is a personal thing. All investing is personal. What's good for your friend is not necessarily what's good for you. All investments have a different risk reward trade-off. They have different time horizon in terms of achieving a certain goal. And you have different circumstances than the person sitting next to you. And that's true, and it's magnified based on what gender you are, what nationality or what race you are, and your entire life's circumstances requires investment personalization. That's why I mentioned we are making customized portfolios. It's not like buying a mutual fund is mutual. It's for the benefit of mutual for everyone. So you just buying that mutual fund is not going to solve your specific issue. So through technology, you no longer need to have a mutual fund. You have a personal fund. We'll create your own fund. And you are investing your dollars, whether it's $25,000 or $25,000. You're investing into your own personalized portfolio of stocks, bonds, ETFs, and other assets. We can even go get real estate into your retirement account with self-directed IRAs. That's some advanced stuff. You can listen to some of my other videos to hear more about that. But it is something that you need to be doing. But we'll invest to slowly build you up to that point to where you can do it. Or if you have an old 401k that's still sitting over at a job, roll that over to our firm. We can help you build a portfolio with that one. Don't leave it over there. If you're not there, why your money?